Hello students. So in this today's class, we'll continue with the Smith chart numericals. Today we'll discuss one more concept aspects in Smith chart. So that is impedance matching, right? So in this concept again we have two sub concept: single stub matching and double stub matching. As per the syllabus, we have only single stub matching. So what is this stub matching or impedance matching? So important reasons for impedance matching are a maximum power will be transmitted to the load, thus making the improvement in the efficiency of transmission at maximum value. Right. One more important reason is that a line terminated in R0 means load impedance has standing wave ratio to unity and transmits a given power with a smaller peak voltage. And then a line terminated in R0 becomes non-resonant, that is its input impedance remain at R0 will be independent of frequency. These are some reasons for impedance matching to get good efficiency of transmission line performance. So as well as no reflections at all. To avoid the reflections, we need to insert some stubs. So how exactly it works? So we'll see now step by step procedure. So in that first one, single stub matching using Smith chart, right? So there are some procedures which are involved in this one. So I'll just give the brief idea about the procedure involved in single stub matching, and we'll take one example today, right? So first step is that normalized load impedance should be located in a Smith chart as a point A, right? See here ZL is given, so we need to divide by Z0 to make it normalized. So that normalized impedance has to be located in the Smith chart at the A point. With OA as radius, you should draw a constant row circle. I'll show you. See, this is the point A, that is load point. With OA as radius, you should draw the constant row circle. Once you draw this row circle, you extend this OA line backwards to cut other part of the circle, and to cut the outermost circle, you denote with a B and B dash, right? Meanwhile, so this procedure to extend back, because this is impedance, so we want admittance, right? This Smith chart is now acts like a admittance chart, right? Now, so this row circle cuts unity G circle, G equal to 1 circle at these 2 points, C and what? Here, as well as this point, right? Now, from this point, we need to move clockwise direction, where exactly the line cuts unity circle G equal to 1 first. So that will appear. That distance we need to note it down as what? D by lambda, right? Given lambda value, we can easily identify the D value. So this is a one step, right? So at this point, it has some arc value. So that is like plus J some values, that is capacitive susceptance. To nullify that, so we should take opposite, means minus J some values. There will get a one line, that is OD. From this short circuit point 2, so this distance L by lambda is called what? And by knowing the lambda value, you can easily identify L. Now from load point, at what distance we should insert stub D, that is D, and of what length. So if you know this much, so you can easily what? Insert the single stub before the end of what? Transmission line at the load point. Now we'll move on to the, just I'll report again procedure. Locate the load point A with OA as radius, draw row circle. We extend back this line at the point B and B dash, right? This row circle cuts the unity G circle at 2 points, C and this point, right? From this B dash, you should move a clockwise direction, where exactly this line appears first. So that is what D by lambda distance, right? Right. Suppose if you have here plus J 1.5 arc, to nullify that capacitive susceptance, should introduce inductive susceptance, that is minus J. Minus J will appear lower half of the Smith chart. Draw a straight line here. From that short circuit point, we will get L by lambda. By knowing the value of lambda, you can easily find D and L. So problem statement. A load impedance of ZL 60 minus J80 is required to be matched to a 50 ohm coaxial line by using short circuited stub of length L located at a distance D from load. The wavelength of operation is 1 meter. Using Smith chart find D and L. So meaning of this one is ZL is given, and then Z0 is 50 ohm is given, and then lambda is 1 meter. All these three values are given. We need to find D and L using single stub matching, that is using Smith chart. Right. What is the first step? So ZL is given, Z0 is given, normalized it. ZL by Z0, 60 minus J80 by 50, ZL will be 1.2 minus J 1.6, right? So you should locate this load point on the Smith chart. So here I will get that here, point A. This is resistance circle 1.6 minus 0.5. So point, this is point A is a load point. If we extend this back, other part of the circle to cuts at B and B dash, right? Now see here, this row circle is cuts constant D, G equal to 1. This is G equal to 1, which passes through the center of the Smith chart. So it cuts at point C and point E. From B dash point, if you want to move clockwise direction, where this line appear first. So in this case, this OC dash lines appears first. So therefore this distance is called as what? D by lambda. So how to measure this D by lambda length? From here to here, 0.25, we know that. On complete circle represents 0.5, half circle represents 0.25. So here to here some value will be there, which is displayed on the outermost periphery, wavelength towards generator, right? Now subtracting this much from this, so I'll get only this distance, right? Similarly, once you can observe here at point C, so it has some got arc value, so that is capacitive susceptance, that is plus J. How much it is, we'll see here. It's a plus J 1.5, plus J 1.5, so which indicates capacitive susceptance. Yeah, so to nullify that, you should see the minus J 1.5, where exactly it will appear. Here it is. So draw OD line, right? From this short circuit point, from here to here, the distance will be what? L by lambda. How to find this gap? Here to here it's a 0.25. Here to complete one circle it's a 0.5, right? So from here to here we have the value here, outermost value, right? From that we just subtract 0.25. Got it? See, here to here we have got some values, say something minus say 0.375 somewhere around roughly, right? So if I subtract 0.25 in this, so I'll get only this much of distance. Suppose I'm telling the rough values. See here now, what are the exact values you'll see. See, this is D by lambda, it's a 0.176 minus 0.065, means here point from here to here 0.176, 0.176 here to here it is 0.065. If I subtract that much, so I'll get how much? Here it is a 0.111 lambda, right? So we know the value of lambda is what? 1 meter, right? It is 0.111 meter. So if you express in terms of centimeter, it is 11.1 centimeter. So this is what the D value, right? Similarly, so you can easily find out the L value also. So L can be 0.344 minus 0.25, means here to here 0.344 minus this much of distance, so that I'll get this much. So how much I am getting? It's a 0.25 minus, it's a lambda, it's a 0.094 into lambda is what? 1 meter, 0.094 meter. So therefore L will be what? 9.4 centimeter. This is how we need to find the single stub matching length. So once you complete the numerical, we should show like this. This is the stub, this is the load point, this is the what? Generator side, right? So we should insert a stub of length distance 9.1 and then D 11.4 centimeter. How much it is? You will see. D is 11.1, and then L is what, 9.4 centimeter. At the end of numerical we should draw this diagram, right? So that at a particular distance D and of length L, if I insert the stub, there will be no reflection at all. So therefore whatever the power will transmit from a source side, so that will completely transfer to load end without any reflections, so that performance of transmission line as well as efficiency will increase. Okay, rest all things we'll share again. I'll stop it here. Thank you.